Wise guys. 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 These guys know sports. Yeah. These guys know sports. These guys know.
And welcome to Wise Guys. These guys know sports on this Friday, April the 17th. What's going on, Clarence?
Hey, good morning to you, Troy.
Yeah, good morning to you, bro. Remember, follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. Another day with the Wise Guys crew. Clarence, how you been, man?
I've been good, man. Just quarantine free, man. Still talking sports, doing our thing.
Definitely, man. So I know we've been quarantined for a couple weeks. How you holding up? You good? You know, I know it's hard on some people, man. It's hard on you?
Hopefully, man. Hopefully Mike DeWine, man, whatever his name is, he let us go back to work May 1st. Because I really miss working, man. I've been in this house for like weeks, man. Going crazy.
Yeah, man. I definitely understand that, man. We definitely miss our sports too, man. As well. You know, the NBA playoffs are supposed to start this week, so I'm missing it, Clarence, man. I'm definitely missing it, man. I'm having some issues, man. Some, not being able to watch my sports. Yeah, some sports withdrawal, especially basketball. This is when, basketball gear up.
Yeah, I just been keeping up on the bingos. I've been playing bingos in the social media group to take my mind away from sports and stuff. But it hasn't been working. It's not been working. I won a few times, but it hasn't been working overall, man.
Right. But we got a couple things we're going to get into today. We're going to talk about the Last Dance documentary that's going to premiere on ESPN this Sunday. We also going to talk about OBJ and the Cleveland Browns. Should the Browns trade Odell Beckham? But the first thing we're going to talk about is Christian McCaffrey. As the Carolina Panthers, they rewarded Christian McCaffrey for his production in the first 3 years of his career so far. McCaffrey and the Panthers agreed to a 4-year contract extension worth $64 million. It's going to be $16 million per year. So, question for you, Clarence, as we open up the show: did the Panthers make the right move here by giving Christian McCaffrey an extension?
Absolutely. The Carolina Panthers made the right decision of giving Christian McCaffrey all this money. It's still a high risk, though, Trey, because I'm going to tell you why. Because running back values doesn't value as much as a receiver, a quarterback, even a defensive lineman, or a defensive player overall. Yeah. The thing is that McCaffrey was a do everything type of running back. He getting paid like a receiver, a slot receiver, even in a running back. But his value is still under a running back because they don't pan out as much as a receiver can or even a defensive player can. So running backs, this is going to be something like the players that want their extension. They're watching Christian McCaffrey see, can he go through his whole contract? Now, we just seen Todd Gurley get released out of his contract, and he only had like 2-3 more years left on his deal. So I'm going to be a little bit more serious about when McCaffrey playing through these 4 years, because I was just telling my brother Ash, was just like, wow, it'd be crazy if McCaffrey get released out of this contract because if they go into a new direction. So this basic contract, in my opinion, this looking like a 2-year deal. Like if everything don't work out in 2 years, they can get out the contract. But yeah, it's a smart gamble, but it's a strong high risk. But I'm happy for McCaffrey got his money because he set the tone for the running back market, man. You got to be excited for that, man. I'm happy for it.
Yes, he did, because running backs like Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, these guys are excited about McCaffrey getting his deal. $16 million over 4 years. Even if he, that's pretty elite money for a running back.
Yeah.
Most of these running backs, they're not getting that kind of money. And you said it, the market for running backs, a lot of these teams, what they do is they get these running backs on these rookie deals. And after the rookie deals, after the running backs have produced at an elite level, once the running back gets up in age, these teams, they place the franchise tag on these running backs. Case in point, what happened with Derrick Henry with the Tennessee Titans. Here Derrick Henry leading the Tennessee Titans to the AFC Championship game, where they had no business being, and he basically was the leader of that team and the soul of that team. They franchise tagged Derrick Henry, and they paid Ryan Tannehill a $64 million contract that he didn't deserve. He's not the leader of that team. He's not the best player on that team, but we know the running back market isn't fair, and that's how these contracts work, and quarterbacks, get paid better on the market than running backs overall. But when it comes to Christian McCaffrey, did the Panthers make the right move here? I believe they made the right move, but I don't believe they made the right move as far as being able to win a Super Bowl, because I believe if your running back is the highest paid player on your team, it doesn't really lend well for you to win a Super Bowl. But at the same time, you will win games, and he is the face of your organization. Look at last year. He had 1,387 rushing yards, 1,005 receiving yards, 19 scrimmage touchdowns. He's a workhorse. He had 403 touches, 6 games with over 100 rushing yards. So Christian McCaffrey definitely deserved his contract, but I'm just not so sure if the Panthers are Super Bowl ready paying him this kind of money, because they got so many other holes they have to fill, and we'll see what happens as time go forward. But I'm not sure if they're going to be able to win a Super Bowl with this.
Well, here's the difference, though, Trey. When they brought in Teddy Bridgewater, that was considered like a small rebuild, but they want to win. They're going to be in win now mode, probably not this year, probably in next year. So this basically a preparation for the future. Now, I agree with you. I don't think that in these 4 years of Christian McCaffrey just signed, they're not about to take him to a Super Bowl. It's impossible. You in the NFC South, you're dealing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're dealing with the top dog, New Orleans Saints. Then you got an underground Atlanta Falcons team that's coming up. What I'm really taking a high risk on Gurley, I'm really not surprised on he even playing. Like, I think that's a scary moment. But the point is, Tampa Bay is a few pieces away of going to the Super Bowl. But right now, they're not positioned team to go to the Super Bowl. They're in position to fight for a playoff contention. That's something that we expecting. But Super Bowl is nonsense, man. Because when you playing for the Super Bowl, you're playing against the best of the best. And yesterday, the odds came out yesterday. They had the San Francisco 49ers going back to the Super Bowl again. And that's just like, wow. Even their front D line got smashed. But the point is, these are obstacles that the Carolina Panthers got to go through if they want to make it to a Super Bowl run. But Trey, I don't see no Super Bowl run in these 4 years when they sign McCaffrey.
I don't either. I don't see them even being a top 3 team in their own division. Like you said, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers bringing in Tom Brady, still got Mike Evans, still got Chris Godfrey, and you still got a nice coach and Bruce Arians. You can look at the New Orleans Saints. We know they're always contenders in the NFC with Drew Brees and with Sean Payton at the helm. Always contenders in the NFC. And then, like you said, the Atlanta Falcons as well. But even all those other teams in the NFC, in the other divisions, like the San Francisco 49ers, they'll be back in contention for the NFC. And, of course, that bad man Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay definitely has something to say about that NFC conversation. But I want to say this real quick as we finish up on Christian McCaffrey. Do you believe that he will live up to this contract from the production standpoint?
I think it all depends on, like, does he? It all depends. Does the coach feel more comfortable of him being more into the scheme that he's planning to have in the upcoming season? Yeah. I think when you pay a guy top dollar money, you expect nothing but the best out of them. Not good, not okay, not average, great. Because when you're one of the highest players in the season, your expectations is rising. It rises every year, because every year is going to be different. And this year was way different. Well, McCaffrey production was still perfect, but he got more money. Now, next year, we expect him to be, oh, man, you think you can do it back-to-back years? Do you think you can get another 1,000 in the receiver? Do you get another 100 catches? Because he had back-to-back 100-yard catches as a running back. That's ridiculous numbers right there. But the answer is, I think he will live up to it, but I doesn't see no Super Bowl aspirations in that Carolina culture, man.
Yeah, real quick before we finish up on this, I just believe that the expectations are going to be too high for him to live up to it. I'm going to give you a couple examples of some running backs that got paid and their production went down. David Johnson, he got paid $13 million average,
Big
and
time.
he signed that contract in September of 2018. And he has 44 rushing yards per game over the last 2 seasons. Todd Gurley, obviously, he got paid $14 million average salary per year. He signed that in July of 2017, I believe. And he has 73 rushing yards per game over the last 2 seasons. And then even recently with Ezekiel Elliott, he getting $15 million average, and he's signed that in September of 2019. Career low, 85 rushing yards last year. So a lot of times these running backs' production goes down once they sign these contracts. But it's not always necessarily their fault, because last year, Dallas Cowboys trailed a lot in games. So Ezekiel Elliott got taken completely out of the game plan. You had to throw the ball, and you had to try to get back into the game. That's why you seen Dak Prescott's stats be inflated, because the Cowboys was trailing in games a lot. So these running backs, the expectations rise once they get these contracts, but at the same time, sometimes the situation also changes. Therefore, their production drops.
I agree with you, and I'm keeping an eye on Ezekiel Elliott because he's in his second year of that big contract that he signed last year, because he is the second highest paid running back. So I'm still expecting something big for this Ezekiel Elliott, man.
Yeah, real quick before we get out of here, do you believe Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the NFL?
Of course, I think he's Even if he didn't get the money, I still would consider him one of the best running backs. He's a workhorse. He is 3 different positions in one. You cannot be satisfied. If you ain't satisfied with that, then I don't know what the hell you doing right now. You could trade him off, but if I have a running back like that, I can line him up anywhere in the world. He is one of the best running backs in the league because he's Mr. Do-It-All. Some of these running backs can't do it all. Some of these running backs are limited. This running back is not limited. This running back can catch, run after the catch, line up a receiver, and great route running as a running back. Yes, he's one of the best running backs in the league, Trey.
Yes, I agree with you that he is one of the great running backs in the league. But the question is he the best running back in the league? And I believe he's in that. I think he's in that conversation. You're right. He is a great all-around back. He has no weaknesses. He can catch the ball at the backfield. He can run between the tackles. Like you said, you can line him up at the receiver position, and he can still give you great production. He's so dynamic, and he has great playmaking abilities. But there are other backs as well that I believe deserve to be in that conversation. One of them I just named, Derrick Henry. He was a workhorse for the Tennessee Titans last year and literally carried them on his shoulders to the AFC Championship game. Saquon Barkley, who's next in line to get this big contract, he is also a game changer for the New York Giants. The New York Giants have nothing to look forward to in the future right now, but guess what? They got Saquon Barkley, so they're feeling pretty good. Also in that conversation, you got to throw in Ezekiel Elliott. I know Ezekiel Elliott didn't have the production last year. Again, only 85 rushing yards per game, but I still think Ezekiel Elliott is one of the top backs in the NFL, and I just think he has to get more opportunities to show his abilities moving forward.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you on that one. So, all right, man. So we got to move on, man. So we're going to the Joe Mixon holdout, man.
Yeah, we can go there. Let's go there.
Oh man. So I know. I would just gasping because it's ridiculous that like on Tuesday, Joe Mixon decided to hold out, prepare for his holdout because Chris McCaffrey got paid. And my question to you though, Trey, is this the best decision for Joe Mixon to hold out for his contract?
I actually believe that Joe Mixon making a mistake by holding out. I don't think that Joe Mixon has a big enough body of work. I do believe Joe Mixon is a great talent. I don't think he has a great body of work just yet, okay? And I'm going to give him credit real quick. Before I even get into why I don't believe he has a great body of work just yet, I'm going to give him credit because in 2 of his first 3 seasons in his career so far, he's had over 1,000 rushing yards. And, you know, he has 17 touchdowns, and he's been a good back for your Bengals. Not great, but he's been a good back. But I do like his upside. Some of his production might not be where it should be because of the Bengals' issues as an overall team. But I do believe Joe Mixon in the future will be worth a worthy contract. I just believe so far in just 3 years of production, I have an issue giving you a big time contract like the Panthers gave Christian McCaffrey, because I don't think his production has been at the level that Christian McCaffrey's production has been at. But I'll be honest, I'm not biased, because Aaron Jones, guess what? I ain't ready for my Packers to pay Aaron Jones just yet. I need to see more production from Aaron Jones. Yes, moving forward, before I say, hey, Packers, let's pay Aaron Jones. No, I need to see more from Aaron Jones and see more consistency, like at least this year. At least give me another year. Give me another year where you are being recognized as a top 15, top 10 back, and then we can pay you. Because right now, in my eyes, this team still rides on the arms of Aaron Rodgers. That's our success. Our success rides on Aaron Rodgers. So I just believe Joe Mixon and Aaron Jones, these backs, haven't proven enough to be worthy of a big-time contract just yet.
You know what's crazy? Because Aaron Jones' contract is ended after the 2020 season. So that's going to be very interesting if Green Bay go give him some money to even think about making him a top 10 highest paid running back. But here's the difference. Joe Mixon had back-to-back 1,000-yard season, arguably with the worst O-line in the NFL. I mean, the worst O-line. I mean, my daughter and Trey Muir can play the O-line. They can be good grades for this Bengals offense, man.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being 1,000 with you. Joe Mixon got the leverage, more leverage than the Bengals. Let me tell you why. Because he's been the backbone of this team. He accepted every challenge that was given towards him. Even with his quarterback changing, his coach changing, he accepted the challenge. He wants to be in Cincinnati. He wants to finish his career in Cincinnati. But the thing is, he wants to get paid like he wants to be here. And I definitely agree with him on that, because if you think about it, there are only 3 players that had 275 rushes in their first 3 seasons. Oh, nobody don't know. See, it was Christian McCaffrey, it was Zeke Elliott, and then it was Joe Mixon. See?
Yeah.
It's stuff like that, all that matter, because whatever situation you're going through, as long as you're fighting through those situations, everything should be good. I think he should hold out, but not as long. And I believe the Cincinnati Bengals and Mike Brown will get a deal done. It's not going to be no deal like Christian McCaffrey. I think he should settle for like $9 to $10 million a year. That would put him even in the top 5 of highest paid. I don't think he don't deserve Christian McCaffrey money, man. That's ridiculous. And I'm a Bengal fan.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And also, I will say this. I want to give Joe Mixon a lot of credit, because you remember coming into the NFL, a lot of NFL executives, they had questions about Joe Mixon's character because he had some issues at Oklahoma. Yeah. Joe Mixon has been a professional, and he's been a model of consistency since he's been with the Cincinnati Bengals. And he's been a great citizen, in the city of Cincinnati. So I got to give him a lot of credit from the standpoint, since he came into the NFL, not only has his production been great over the last 3 years, but also even his character issues. We don't need to question Joe Mixon anymore. You know what I mean? I think he slammed the door shut on those character issues, and he's been a great pro for your Bengals. And I will give you credit, and I will admit that Joe Mixon has been the heart and soul of the Bengals over the last 2 years while they've been struggling. Every time you watch the Bengals, when you turn the Bengals on, it ain't much that you get excited about. But Joe Mixon is one of those players that gives you a reason to watch the Bengals. He's a playmaker, and, he can put the ball in the end zone. And also, I believe he's getting better at being able to catch the ball in the backfield, creating those mismatches with opposing teams' linebackers. Because no linebacker can guard Joe Mixon in the open field. It's just not going to happen. Same with Aaron Jones, same with Alvin Kamara. I believe he deserves to be in that conversation. And I do believe he deserves to get paid at some point. I just think I would want at least one more year of consistent production before I give him that big-time payday. But like I said, I do agree with you from the standpoint he is the workhorse, and he is, the heart and soul of your Bengals. And that is going to be bringing in a quarterback like Joe Burrow. You want to be able to have a consistent and reliable running back to hand the ball off to, and Joe Mixon definitely will give you that premium, as a running back.
Yeah, and that's another thing before we go on to the next topic. Joe Mixon actually helped out rookie quarterbacks. He helped out quarterbacks if they're having a lot of rookie mistakes. We expecting Burrow to have rookie mistakes. So we expect them to hand off, mixing the ball here, man. Let me clear my mind while you run the ball. But the point is that you have to pay Mixon. You have to give him this money. You don't have to give him elite money. You got to give him money that satisfy his needs, that he'll stay in Cincinnati for a long time. I believe that they're going to get a deal done. It's just not going to be right at this present, but it will be before training camp. Even if it's not before training camp, like, things can get real ugly. I'm being real honest with you. If we don't end up signing him, it's more likely we're going to be looking for more options in the draft or look somewhere in free agency. It's a lot of running backs out in free agency. We can even sign Devontae Parker, but I don't want to go down that route. I hope we sign Mixon to a longer deal and he remains in Cincinnati forever.
You know, Mike Brown always goes against the grain, so ain't no telling what the hell Mike Brown might do. But let's move on and let's talk some NBA. As there was a writer recently that came out, I believe his name was Ethan Strauss, and he had a book titled The Making and Unmaking of the Warriors Dynasty. And basically, the writer says that Kevin Durant, he accused local media of favoring Steph Curry, over him, and basically accused all the media of being Steph Curry fanboys. So, question for you is, Clarence, what do you make of this situation? And does KD have a point about that? Look, the local media, basically being fanboys of Steph Curry. What you think about that situation?
I mean, from my point of view, or my opinion, Trey, his opinion matters. He was part of that Warriors dynasty. At a point in time, he was more important than Steph Curry. Steph Curry went shot ever since when Durant been there in the 4 years, 3 or 4 years that he been with Golden State. KD has been the main focal point, and Steph Curry kind of played the back seat of him because KD was much of a scorer and much of a superstar than him at the time. And when Curry, like, okay, when you talk about the Warriors, you think of Curry, and KD didn't like that. He wanted to be recognized in that too, and I think it's a little exaggerating that you should be remembered over Steph, because before you came there, they won a chip. And you joined them so you can get a chip too. But I think it was just blown out of proportion at the same time because, like, I don't like the title. The remake of the Warriors dynasty, man. KD got to be in that Warrior dynasty. He was one of the best players in their dynasty. Now when he left, it's gonna be more of a big challenge because it's more teams on the West, Trey. And I just think that KD just a little sensitive. He just got to let stuff flow and just keep it professional, man. I don't really think it's a big reaction, man.
Yeah, but I actually think that Kevin Durant has a point. But my response to Kevin Durant would be, so what? You knew what you were getting yourself into when you decided to take your talents to Golden State. When you went to Golden State, you knew Steph Curry was a back-to-back NBA MVP. The Warriors had just came off going to the finals 2 years in a row. And also, basically, they already had established a great team. And Steph Curry was in that organization from the beginning of his career to the time that you arrived in Golden State. So that local media knew Steph Curry. They had developed a relationship with Steph Curry throughout the years in Golden State, throughout the years that he had when they got to the playoffs, but they was coming up short with Mark Jackson. And then, like I said, when Steve Kerr came in, they got to the NBA Finals 2 years in a row. So my thing is, I believe that Kevin Durant has to understand that Steph Curry has been the man in Golden State, and they grew up with Steph Curry throughout the time that the Warriors grew up as a team overall. Listen, we all got family, right? We got family, we got cousins, we got aunts, whatever. If a cousin goes to his aunt and uncle's house and stays with his family, his or her family, and let's say that aunt or that uncle takes that cousin in and they raise that cousin, right? When that cousin gets older, guess what? No matter how much success that cousin has, that cousin will never be as important as that aunts and uncle's main children. Okay? That's the same situation that's going on in Golden State. No matter how much success that Kevin Durant would have had in Golden State, he could have won 4, 5, 6 championships, won 4 or 5 NBA MVPs. Guess what, Clarence? He was not going to be recognized like Steph Curry was going to be. He was not going to be as respected in that organization as Steph Curry was going to be. And that's just the way it is, and Kevin Durant has to accept that. But I will say this. I'm going to finish up, and I'm going to let you respond to this. If there are Warrior fans out there that are saying that Steph Curry was ever better than Kevin Durant, then Kevin Durant has a legitimate beef, because there was never a situation or never a time when we watched basketball that we ever said Steph Curry was better than Kevin Durant. So if there are, fans, they say some crazy things. If these fans have said, oh, Steph Curry is better than you, KD, or you riding the curtails of Steph Curry, I would say Kevin Durant has a legitimate beef, and he has every right to get back at those Warrior fans, because that's ridiculous. Kevin Durant in the 2017 NBA Finals averaged 35 and 8 and went right at LeBron. So, like I said, I respect the hell out of KD. He has a point about the local media, but it really doesn't matter overall. But again, if there are fans that are saying Steph Curry is better than Kevin Durant as a player, then KD has a right to come back at them, because we all know that's not right at all. And that's not, so go ahead.
I'm gonna try not to hold this long response though, Trey, because we gotta go to the next topic. Our final topic is that. But I'm gonna just say this. Steph Curry was always the best player in Golden State. I always believed that. I never thought Klay Thompson was even better than him. I ain't even thought that, because
Klay Thompson better all-around player.
Nah. Curry, here's the difference. Curry is not a good defender. Klay is a good defender.
Right.
Curry is a good facilitator. Klay is not a good facilitator, but both can shoot the ball. But I'm still taking a risk on Curry because he has the intangibles and skill set more than Klay. Klay has limited skill set, but he can ball. But we not. That's a say for another this topic. But thing is, Curry knew what he was getting himself into. Durant knew what he was getting himself into. He knew KD knew that the Splash Brothers and Draymond and them, they was going to help him get better, make him be a better player than where he is today. And like you said, the cousin, you would never be that
Never.
cousin. Like you would never be better than that cousin. You would like Golden State would never be your home, or they love you more than Steph, man. Because Steph was drafted there, and he's been there his whole career. So it'd be disrespectful to even think that Durant is more worthy than Steph in Golden State, man.
Right. I completely agree with you.
Yes, sir. All right, man. So we're about to move on to the last topic. So I've been seeing that rumor, Odell Beckham to the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Now that was a good deal. That would have been a good deal. But Trey, what's your quick reaction on that?
I don't believe the Browns should trade Odell Beckham, but I will say I understand why some people believe they should trade him. You remember in 2018, Baker Mayfield, he had 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, completed 64% of his passes. They went 6-7 on the year. He regressed last year. Last year he had 22 touchdowns, but he also had 21 interceptions. I believe part of the reason why he threw so many interceptions, he was forcing the ball to Odell Beckham. And I believe that was an issue for the Browns. But I think the main issue for the Browns was Freddie Kitchens. Freddie Kitchens was in over his head, and that's the reason why the Browns struggled. They have to do a better job moving forward to not force the ball to Odell Beckham and just let things happen naturally. And I think Kevin Stefanski, the new head coach for the Cleveland Browns, will put together a game plan to where they won't have to force the ball to Odell Beckham, and they can just get him the football in the natural flow of the offense.
I agree with you, Trey. I think the Browns should not move on from Odell. I think he's probably the most important piece on that team, regardless of his stats last year. Like he's still considered one of them elite run receivers that you would love to have on your team, that an elite quarterback would love to have. And the thing is with Baker, he wasn't throwing the ball to Odell. He wasn't giving him his catches and throws to him. All his catches and passes went to Jarvis, and it kind of made like a conflicted stress, because he knows that he can catch the ball. He knows that he can beat the defender. He knows that, but Baker Mayfield just ain't had the confidence in him. But I think for this year, it should be a better year because their O-line is fixed. It was still getting fixed once they draft Mekhi Becton, because I had Mekhi Becton from Louisville going there, which I think would be a great idea to protect Baker Mayfield blindside. I think Cleveland got an upside because it was another second-year roster change, and they're about to go into draft and draft their players again. I think they're on the rise right now, but they're not better than the Bengals.
Oh, they definitely better than the Bengals, man. That's not even a conversation. When you look at offensively, they got Jarvis Landry, they got Odell Beckham, two quality receivers. You also have at the running back spot Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. He'll be back as well. And then they signed in free agency Austin Hooper. He was a nice target for Matty Ice in Atlanta. So I think the Browns are on the come up, and now they're going to be in the right direction. Now that they got Kevin Stefanski as head coach, not Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah, Freddie Kitchens, I think he was just a terrible play caller. Well, regardless of Zach Taylor, he was a terrible play caller, but Freddie Kitchens just didn't have it in him. He ain't had no winning receipt in him. I think he was just happy to be the coach for the Cleveland Browns, but he wasn't ready to accept the challenge, to accept the criticism, to accept the losing records that they had for years, the playoff appearance they ain't had in 15 years. He wasn't ready to accept that, Trey.
Nah, he wasn't, man. We got 30 seconds before we wrap up here. Everyone, follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. Hey, Clarence, we're going to be back on here, soon and talk some more sports. Nice talking
yes,
with you,
sir.
bro.
Yes, sir, man. You have a good day, man, all right?
You have a good one too, bro. I'm going to holler at you.
All right.
Everyone have a good day.
Everybody have a great day.